Without sounding cheesy, can we call the Nothing Phone 2A the new king of budget beauty? So you just saw the montage, right? So this phone looks all cool and dandy, but the looks alone don't sell a device, right? Of course, Nothing products are known for design, and this phone is no different, and we are going to touch down on the design aspect of this phone a bit later. But apart from the design bit, what does the Nothing Phone 2A bring to the table? And also, if you have a budget of about 25,000 rupees, should you buy the Nothing Phone 2A? Let's talk. Hello everyone, I'm here for Fiiber by India Today, and before I give you all the good and bad of the Nothing Phone 2A, consider hitting that red subscribe button for detailed tech videos and also turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of our latest updates. With that said, let's get started. Now, for all those expecting that the Nothing Phone 2A would be kind of a repackaged version of the Nothing Phone 2 in a more affordable form, well guys, we were all so wrong. So this is how the phone looks from the back. 3 glyphs up top, a transparent back, a red accent on the side, and dual camera lenses which seem like eyes of a robo staring at you. At the front, the bezels are even on all sides like how we are used to seeing on Nothing phones. Now I won't deny the design has definitely grown on me here, but this black color that I have is a dust and fingerprint magnet. I mean, it is pretty, but it gets quite dirty. So my suggestion would be that if getting the black color isn't a must-have for you, then definitely get the white color. Now, I have seen the white shade of the Phone 2A. I have seen the white shades of all the Nothing phones up till now, and the whites one are definitely the more prettier ones. What do you think? Other than this, the Nothing Phone 2A has an IP54 rating, which is okay for a splash resistance. But this one time, Imam actually dropped this phone in a puddle, and at that time we thought that the phone is gone. But thankfully, IP54 rating on this phone did a job of an IP68. The phone was working all fine, and yeah, it's good to have an IP rating on a mid-range phone, and glad that Nothing has it. Apart from this, the buttons have good tactile feedback. The fingerprint sensor is accurate, however a higher placement would have been much appreciated for hands like mine. And overall, for the design, I would say I have quite liked it. It has grown on me for sure. The ergonomics are great. Of course, true to Nothing's name, this one stands out, and the best part is it doesn't look or feel like a sub 25,000 rupees smartphone. I mean, this phone definitely feels more expensive when you hold it in the hand. It definitely looks more expensive. Rest, what do you guys think of the design of the Phone 2A? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Alright, on to the display, and this right here is a 6.7-inch AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate and 1300 nits peak brightness. So for all your HDR content, this is the peak brightness you get, and it is more than enough. However, when it comes to the real brightness, not the peak brightness I'm talking about the real brightness in high brightness mode. In that case also, the phone supports 1100 nits, which is more than plenty indoors, and I would say it will suffice outdoors as well. Again, 1100 nits in high brightness mode compared to the likes of an iQOO Z7 Pro or OnePlus Nord C3. Definitely, the Nothing Phone 2A is better here. But again, in this price range, phones like the Poco X6 Pro or say a Redmi Note 13 Pro, they are better with 1200 nits in high brightness mode versus the Nothing Phone 2A. Needless to say, be it the brightness, the panel quality, the vibrancy, and the colors, overall, this is a gorgeous panel for consuming video content or playing games. The best part is that with a 2160Hz PWM dimming, it is also quite safe for the eyes when using the phone in dim light. Apart from this, the dual speakers sound loud and crisp with very mild distortion at high volumes if you are listening to music. Now, my only gripe with the speakers here, and it has nothing to do with the media consumption bit, is the fact that when taking calls on the loudspeaker, the sound wasn't all that loud. So maybe that could be fixed with a software patch. But otherwise, when I talk about the display and the audio quality, the overall media consumption on the Nothing Phone 2A, I think it gets full marks. The Nothing Phone 2A is powered by a custom version of the Dimensity 7200 chipset, which they call the Dimensity 7200 Pro. This is coupled with up to 12 GB RAM and up to 256 GB storage options. As for software, the Phone 2A gets the latest Nothing OS 2.5 atop Android 14, and the company promises software support for up to 4 years, that is 3 years of Android OS updates and 4 years of security patches. First up, let's take a quick look at some of the benchmarks numbers to have an idea of Dimensity 7200 Pro's prowess. Boasting a score of about 1100 and 2600 in Geekbench 6, the scores are pretty much in line with other Dimensity 7200 powered phones such as the iQOO Z7 Pro or the more expensive Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus. However, in ANTU 2 with a score of about 682,000, this number is slightly lower than the scores of the Z7 Pro and again the Note 13 Pro Plus. That said, keeping the okayish benchmark numbers on the side, when I look at the real world performance of the Nothing Phone 2A, that has been surprisingly good, and the main reason for that is that the company has nailed the core fundamentals with this phone. First up, there's no denying that the Dimensity 7200 chip is a potent mid-range processor that can do the heavy lifting but is also battery efficient. However, it's not just the chipset that runs the show here. The software on board is quite optimized, offering a smooth user experience. General tasks are of course handled well. Multitasking courtesy of the 12 GB RAM on my unit ensured my frequently used apps were mostly at the same place where I last left them. Now, sometimes under heavy loads, when you're juggling between 3 to 4 apps at once, the phone does show some minor stutters, but that's about it. For the most part, the Nothing Phone 2A runs smoothly. Animations and transitions are slick. Heck, even while playing games such as Call of Duty Mobile at 60 FPS, the phone barely gets warm. So yes, no complaints regarding overheating as well in my testing. As for the Nothing OS software, when it comes to barebone Android skins, it is surely one of the best out there and definitely better and more stable than Pixel UI. I absolutely love the minimalist approach to how everything looks. The monochrome icons add a bit of character, which by the way, you'll have to download it from the Google Play Store. Plus, the Nothing styled widgets and the glyph interface customizations add that extra bit of personality which you only get on Nothing smartphones. Now, my only ask here is that Nothing should start and try getting more developers on board so that more apps can take advantage of the glyph lights. Because as good as the glyph interface is, it is currently limited to only a handful of things, and I totally believe that there's a lot of untapped potential here, and I really wish this changes very soon. The Nothing Phone 2A gets a 5000 mAh battery under the hood, which is 500 mAh and 300 mAh larger than the Phone 1's and Phone 2's batteries respectively. There's 45 watt charging support that charges the phone from 0 to 100% in about an hour. And I also know that Nothing hasn't given phone chargers in the boxes of the Phone 1 and the Phone 2, but for a phone at this price point, I think so they should have provided a charging brick with the device. However, for what it's worth, the Type-C to Type-C cable that you get inside the box looks dope. So as for the battery life, the 5000 mAh battery paired with the Dimensity 7200 chip and the Nothing OS software results in solid endurance. For one, it is better than the Phone 2's battery life. Now, in terms of numbers, you can say this phone can easily give you a day's worth of battery life with heavy usage. For perspective, in my usage with the day starting at 10 AM with 100% battery charged, I was consistently left with about 30% battery by the end of the day at around 8 PM. For context, my work day usually involves using a lot of WhatsApp for calls, video calls, texting. Then I also watch content, video content. I upload files, and plus my hotspot is on from like morning to evening, so count that as well. And with that sort of usage, the battery life that I was getting, I think so I'm quite satisfied with what I got here. Okay, now let's dive into the camera performance. There are two 50 megapixel lenses on the rear, one primary and one ultra wide, while a 32 megapixel selfie camera is there on the front. So let's start with an excellent sun-kissed photo of yours truly, courtesy of Imam's photography skills. And straight up, I would say that I quite like the post-processing done by the Dimensity 7200 Pro's chipset's ISP that you see. Now, I'm not saying there's any deficiency in the photos, like this portrait mode photo of mine, where in tricky areas like around the hair, the edge detection and accuracy could have been better. But Pratik's photo turned out great in portrait mode, although this phone does smoothen the skin texture a slight bit, which personally I found alright because it makes the photo look good. However, if you're aiming for a completely natural skin tone, you might not get that level of accuracy. But if you like the photo, which Pratik himself quite enjoyed, then there's no issue, my friend. What I noticed here is that you just give this camera good lighting and the photos turn out great. High dynamic range, sharpness and mostly natural colors come out, so there's no complaint there. Yes, this camera does boost the maroonish red tones a bit. Some people might find it artificial, but if you ask me, the end result should look good, and I found the end result of this camera quite excellent for this price. Apart from that, I noticed some color disparity in the ultra wide camera results. I mean, the results are fine, but color consistency could be improved a bit. Otherwise, I was quite impressed with the night shots too, with the output coming out sharp and nice. Yes, the sky colors seemed somewhat artificial, as you can see in the photos. Also, while shooting against bright light, there's some flaring observed, but 8 out of 10 times, if you're using this phone's camera at night, you get good results, no doubt about that. Finally, switching to the selfie camera, and the results are absolutely fantastic. The colors come out as they should, HDR performance stays good, and most importantly, the skin tones remain quite accurate in selfies. So right now I'm recording from the rear camera of the Nothing Phone 2a. This is the 4K 30 FPS recording. This is the maximum this phone can shoot, and this is the kind of quality that you get. Of course, you are getting stabilization over here, which is quite good. Audio, how do you find the audio? Let me know in the comments. And in terms of colors, might seem muted at first, but these are quite accurate, my friend. I actually love the HDR performance as well, and the colors look quite natural. What do you think about the overall quality? Let me know in the comments. Now, when it comes to the front camera, you're only getting 1080p recording. This is the 60 FPS output. Now, it can shoot with HDR on, but that will be limited to 1080p 30 FPS. No HDR on the 1080p 60 FPS output. But still, the performance is quite good. Even the HDR performance without the mode turned on is quite fine. Colors look quite natural. That is Imam in the background. And what do you think about the stabilization? What do you think about the audio? What do you think about the overall video recording capabilities of this phone? Let me know in the comments. And next up is the verdict. So long story short, I've been very impressed while using the Nothing Phone 2a. Of course, the first impressions of the device have been solid since the phone looks so good and unique, but what's more important is the fact that once the honeymoon period is over, what really matters is the phone's performance. And when it comes to the performance, the way the device handles thermal management, the stable software, the capable cameras, and especially the good battery life, I think nothing has really hit it out of the park with the phone 2a. Fiiber rates the Nothing Phone 2a a solid 8 out of 10. Rest, you guys let me know your thoughts about this phone in the comments below. And as always, for all the latest in tech, stay tuned to Fiiber. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.